Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about, is the bullwhip effect still valid? For those of you that don't know what the bullwhip effect is, it's basically when like a wholesaler or let's just think of Walmart, right? So Walmart is selling uh, 20 cans of beer a day, and then suddenly they have 3 days of spike where it's 100 cans a day. So their deployment team or order management team orders 300 cans of beer for each of the following days next week. But then they go back to 20 cans a day. They just had a temporary spike, but they overcompensated for that demand. So that's a little bit what the bullwhip effect, but it has a broader range other than having an extra 300 or 400 cans of beer on standby. So it was projected early on that we would have a bullwhip effect. So with the Fed raising rates, crushing demand, people assumed that there would be inventories would be flush across the board, hence driving down and causing massive deflation. That hasn't played out exactly like some had predicted. We are seeing that on the retail front, and the retail front has cheaper goods that can be mass produced easily, and doesn't require a lot of complex parts to make it work. Right? What we're talking about here: clothing, tennis shoes, common goods. Even though the chip thing was supposed to be crazy, somehow they managed to make TVs by the scud loads. But we didn't see that on the new car side. We didn't see that on the washers, the dryers, the building components, and so on, right? Even in lumber so much, the mills could just simply say, okay, we see demand falling off. We're going to stop making the product, keeping prices elevated. The same thing the car manufacturers are doing. The car manufacturers, all these other companies, it's just not them. Washer dryers and stuff like that, they're actually keeping inflation elevated because they were in a positive inventory situation. They had low inventory and they still had somewhat strong demand, even till to this day. So, like Toyota, they said, okay, we're going to scale back production. We're not going to lay anybody off, but we're scaling back production. I would assume GM, Ford, and all those guys have done the same thing. And the same thing, washers and dryers and refrigerators and stuff like that. Unless you're wanting a base model, like if you go to Lowe's, unless you're wanting a base model refrigerator, everything else is a wait. Most of the time when you go to a new car lot and you want a certain model, you don't want to pay over MSRP for it, you've got specific options that you want, you're going to order it and wait, and you're going to pay full price for it. Now, on the retail side, it's the opposite, right? Because they're experiencing the bullwhip effect, and that's your Walmart, your Targets, Macy's, Foot Locker, all that stuff, right? That rely on high turn, cheaper made products, right? They're flush with inventory. So they're actually experiencing it, and that's the reason why you're seeing sales, close out year sales, TV sales, and all that stuff. So the economy, it's 50-50 right now. But the thing that's really shooting the bullwhip effect kind of down at this point is your bigger purchases, your automotive, your new cars, your washer dryers, your housing material and stuff like that. Windows are still on order. Some siding still on order. Flooring, just a whole host of stuff right now. So those are keeping prices elevated. So I got a feeling as Walmart, Target, so on are selling through some of this material, they're going to order a whole lot less, right? So I think their bullwhip effect will be less, and it actually puts the economy in somewhat of a decent position to avoid massive deflation. Because as the Fed, let's just say the Fed comes out aggressive and say, we're going to raise another 50 basis points because the clowns on Wall Street don't get it. We mean business. We got to drive it down. It's not going down as fast as we want. So the manufacturers, most manufacturers right now, can afford to go down with it a little bit, right? They can adjust because most of their products are being made to order, right? Similar to what Tesla is. Only the TVs that must be sent over from overseas, clothing and stuff like that, that's the stuff that's still being mass ordered. But if that stuff scales down, and if whatever country is making those can still function at that rate, then I don't see it happening. If it does on the retail side, I don't think it's going to last much longer. Anyway, gang, short video. This is my humble opinion on the bullwhip effect and why I don't think it's going to amount to a whole lot. But things do change, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but we'll see how it plays out, gang. All right, till the next one, beefy out. See ya.